WDW Fan Zone show. We're going to discuss why guests should experiment with other Disney foods and not keep eating the same things over and over. We're also going to have the latest Disney World news, and I'm not going to keep you waiting for that. We're going to get into it right now. So take it away, Jess.
Hey there, folks. Here's the news for the week. Blizzard Beach is reopening on Monday, November 6th, with Typhoon Lagoon's last day being Sunday, November 5th, and it will close for refurbishment. The new Epcot nighttime fireworks show, Luminous, The Symphony of Us, debuts on December 5th, and we now have a showtime that has just been announced, which is 9:30 p.m. My Disney Experience has just updated details on the show, which is delight in a dramatic show designed to bring us all together. Marvel at a dazzling pageant of fireworks, fountains, music, and lights set to an original composition. New music, along with evocative selections from the Disney Songbook, come together to remind us that we are more alike than we are different. And there's some new concept art, so check that out. There are new details on Jollywood Nights and what it will offer. A new show at the Theater of Stars called Disney Holidays in Hollywood, and it looks extravagant. There will be a Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas sing-along, new holiday outfits celebrating the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, a DJ playing merry mashups, classics, and modern beats with Powerline Max, Rescue Rangers, Chippendale, and Phineas and Ferb. There will be photo opportunities and digital downloads of your Disney PhotoPass photos, and they are included with the ticket for the event. Tower of Terror will be lit up with holiday scenes, and snow will fall along Sunset Boulevard. It sounds like an exciting night indeed. Tickets are on sale still for most Mondays and Wednesdays from November 20th and December 20th. There is a new name to the Disney military. It used to be the Disney Military Promotional Ticket, but now it is called the Disney Military Salute Ticket for U.S. military members. And there is a 4, 5, or 6-day ticket option with a Park Hopper or Park Hopper Plus option. The 4-day is $369 with the Park Hopper and $399 with the Park Hopper Plus if you purchase by December 17th, and this is 2024, so you have a full year on that. A 5-day is $389 with a Park Hopper and $419 with a Park Hopper Plus and purchased by December 16th, 2024. Again, a full year. And then the 6-day is $409 with a Park Hopper and $439 with Park Hopper Plus. And you must purchase that by December 15th, 2024. There are blackout dates from March 24th to April 6th, which is Easter, and November 24th to 30th, which is Thanksgiving. Reservations for theme parks are still required for this ticket because it's a floating day. It's not specific days. So you do need a park reservation for this ticket. Military members can also add Memory Maker for $98 in special price through December 20th, 2024. Epcot's International Festival of the Arts will begin on January 12th, 2024, and go until February 19th, 2024, and we'll have food, music, and plenty of art. We have dates for Moonlight Magic in 2024 in Epcot, January 25th and March 1st. Hollywood Studios, August 27th. Animal Kingdom, they still have one in 2023, which is December 13th. And then the 2024 dates are February 27th and April 23rd. And Typhoon Lagoons are June 4th and July 11th. And finally, for parks news, Asha from Disney's new movie Wish, which is in theaters November 22nd, is now greeting guests in Epcot in the World Showcase Friendship Ambassador Gazebo. And there are a couple movie releases that have delayed openings. The release of live action Snow White has been delayed from March 2024 now till March 21st, 2025. And Pixar's Elio has been delayed from June 2024 to now June 13th, 2025. And these are all because of the writer's strike. In hotel news, massive gingerbread creations will be at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, Beach Club, Boardwalk, Contemporary, Grand Floridian, and a brand new display at the Yacht Club. Some have even started to go up. And in other news, in Disney Cruise Line, they announced that the new Disney Treasure will allow weddings and vow renewals starting February 8th, 2025. You must have a cruise reservation before booking the wedding. It is not cheap, too. Speaking of Disney Cruise Line, Monday, November 6th is when you can start booking for 2025 cruises. All right, so fun ESPN news. ESPN Bet is debuting on November 14th, and this is an agreement with Penn Entertainment in 17 states where betting is legal. If it is legal in your state, then you will be able to do this. This will replace ESPN Daily Wager program, and now will be called ESPN Bet Live on November 10th. And there is also a chance to enter a sweepstakes to win a trip to ESPN headquarters in Bristol, Connecticut. All right, in Disney Springs, the Bose Signature Candles has opened on the west side. Check out the Disney-inspired scents. Coming soon, there will be a candle making experience for $25. And finally, for the news, Walt Disney Company plans to purchase the remaining 33% stake in Hulu from Comcast, NBC Universal for about $8.6 billion. This deal will give Disney full control of Hulu. Yay. All right, so that is the news. Here are the park hours starting Friday, November 3rd. Magic Kingdom will be open from 9 a.m. to midnight. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Oh my goodness, every single day is different. Monday, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Tuesday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. And Thursday is our first Christmas party. The park hours will be from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. with the Christmas party from 7 to midnight. Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios park hours are 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And Animal Kingdom is every day 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. except for Saturday, and that is 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Typhoon Lagoon, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is 10 to 5, and then it closes. And then Blizzard Beach will be open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Boardwalk, 6:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then Disney Springs, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m., except on Friday and Saturday when it is until 11:30 p.m. And finally, the weather. It is fall in Florida. We love the change in temperatures. Expect highs in the high 70s throughout the weekend and mid 80s to start the week throughout. The lows stay in the high 60s and low 70s all throughout the week. It is forecast to be partly sunny every day, but don't let the forecast fool you. A pop-up shower could surprise you, so always be prepared for rain and stock up on your sunscreen. I am a little bit more north of Orlando, and we got into the mid 40s this morning. It was
Wow.
It was
I'll take it.
spooky. But yes, it was nice. But it did get up to about 75, so it was really nice here today. Anyway, that is all the news for today. I guess I'm heading out, so see you real soon.
All right, take care, Jess. Thank you.
Thanks, Jess.
We always
Bye-bye.
appreciate it. Great job with the news.
Thank you.
All right, and for those of you who don't know, I'm Stuart, along with Kurt, Darlene, and John, and we're going to bring you the second portion of our show shortly. But I do want to mention something. Just was talking about the weather here, and there are people like in Chicago or Pennsylvania that are hearing this forecast here, and they're going, "Oh, those bastards!"
We had snow and 27 degrees on Halloween.
Yeah. They're talking about it in the 70s and 80s for their fall weather. And it's like, then you'll hear a couple of months from now, January, February, we'll have like 2 days of when I say winter, like maybe we'll go down in the middle of the night into the 40s. And during the day, it'll be in the 50s. and people would complain about how freezing cold it is here, and people who have temperatures below zero are going to be going, or they'll be giving us the middle finger. So, yeah, so it's all relative. If California's perfect weather, they also have earthquakes. So, so anyway, the topic for tonight.
Can I make one quick comment about the news before we get into our topic?
Sure, go ahead.
And, well, I mean, it ties into our show from last week. So we heard how they're going to start having weddings on Disney Cruise Line.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe they could have funerals on Disney Cruise Line.
Buried at sea. Yeah. Yeah.
If you're not sure what we mean, go back and listen to last week's show.
Yeah, maybe somebody wants to be buried at Castaway Cay.
Sorry.
That's all right. So tonight's topic is why you shouldn't be afraid to try different foods at Walt Disney World. There were so many times, and I think all of us know people that have gone to the parks, and it's like we know a family where every time they go, or I should say when they live here, but when their family comes down to visit them, it's always the same thing. Regal Eagle. Or somebody will go for burgers all the time. They won't eat anything else. Or hot dogs, or they're afraid to allow their kids to try anything because they think they're only going to eat peanut butter and jelly with chicken nuggets. You're losing out on so much if you don't experiment while you're here. And there's a lot of different things you can do, a lot of different places you can go. So let's start off by giving some of the reasons why people should experiment when they come to Walt Disney World, trying different foods and restaurants. Anybody want to go first?
It's safe. You could try just about anything, and 99% of the time, you don't have to worry about getting food poisoning. Okay?
That's a good reason for it.
Okay. Hey, you can go and buy sushi over at your grocery store. It might not be the freshest. It's going to be fresh at Disney World. I can't eat it, but you can eat it.
It depends at what supermarket you get. I can tell you right now, Publix has a huge turnover in sushi.
Yeah.
You never have to worry about it there being unsafe.
Especially on Sushi Wednesdays.
Oh my God. It goes flying off the shelves on that day.
It does.
They can't keep enough in stock. That's because they give a discount that day. What is it? Buy one, get one, I think, or
no, $5.
No, that's it. Yeah.
For a tray, which is that's enough of a serving for me. It's like, I think 8 pieces, I think, is on that tray.
For us guys here, I know, Kurt, you can't eat it. John, I don't think it would be enough for. I've had the sushi on Wednesdays. It's not enough. Two's not enough.
If you threw it on a grill, I might try it.
Yeah. Even if I could still eat fish, I wouldn't eat sushi.
I love sushi. Anyway, speaking of, how many people are afraid to try the Japanese pavilion for the sushi there, or the hibachi? It's great food. And a lot of people pass it up because either they've never had Japanese food, or they just feel they'd rather go with the safer choice. They might go to, God forbid, Nine Dragons, which they might recognize more of the items on the menu than they might someplace else. And I think that's part of the reason why people gravitate towards certain restaurants, because they recognize the burgers, the fries, and things like that. And it's familiar food to them. They're not used to trying different things, or they just never have.
Well, people can be creatures of habit about just about anything. So, and it's understandable. But one of the things I thought about is you can miss out on seeing parts of Walt Disney World that you wouldn't otherwise see. So, for instance, going out to some of the resorts, going to a restaurant at one of the resorts. So let's say something like Boma or Tusker House. Well, I'm sorry, Tusker House is in the parks. Jico, or maybe the Topolino's Terrace, something like that. If you're afraid you're not going to like, or the food's not the standard kind of food that you like to eat, you might miss out on seeing so many parts of Walt Disney World you wouldn't otherwise see.
And you know what? I think the best restaurants are in the resorts.
I agree.
You know, take time out of the parks. If you spend the entire day in the parks, you're going to either suffer a meltdown from being out in the heat all day long, or being exhausted from running around all day long. You know, leave, relax, go to a resort, have dinner there, lunch, breakfast, anything.
Well, and along the lines of what Kurt said, it's not just safe, but their menus are so well put together and flexible, you can find something that feels more comfortable to you.
Right. And if you're afraid, you know, because of allergies that you might suffer from, Disney will they'll bend over backwards to accommodate. Yeah, go ahead, Kurt.
I was going to say, along those lines, expanding on what John was saying, if you look farther down on the menu, it will show you gluten-free, fish-free, you know, if you're allergic to any shellfish or anything, it'll give you your options that don't have any of that in there.
I don't know. I like my gluten. I'm a glutton for gluten.
Yeah, or even things that aren't on the menu. Disney is very flexible and accommodating, so you can ask for something that's not necessarily on the menu, and a lot of times they can accommodate you.
And you know what else? Disney's menus are geared for the masses. They know people have broad taste in food, so they try not to make them too, what's the right word I'm looking for? They won't define it to a particular taste. They'll try to cook their food that enough people from all walks of life might be interested in and enjoy.
Yeah, sometimes Disney gets criticized for that. So, you know, if you're going to have, let's say, you know, African inspired or Spanish inspired or something else, you know, Italian, they get criticized because they, quote, dumb the food down a little bit. They don't put in as much spice, or they don't put in as much flavor because they're afraid that it'll turn people off.
Right.
So again, Disney knows what people want and like. So they're, to your point, they're trying to appeal to everybody. And so it may not be as extreme as you think it's going to be.
Correct. You know, if you like chicken, there are a million different places to go than, you know, I'm just going to throw I love Columbia Harbor House, but going to Columbia Harbor House and ordering chicken fingers or chicken nuggets. There were so many better, and when I say better choices, I don't mean better, I mean different choices where you could enjoy the food just as much, if not more. And you're getting a different flavoring of something that you wouldn't know otherwise if you just stuck to the same place all the time. How many people go to Walt Disney World and where they'll go to the Magic Kingdom and they run over to Cosmic Rays?
Great. They have a nice variety of food right now.
Yes, they do. But it's the same kind of choices you can get in most parts of Disney World.
Oh yeah, that's the go-to. Everyone can find something that they might like.
Right. And I understand why they do that, because for that exact reason, everybody can find something they might like. But it's not trying something different that might be out of your normal daily habit when you're back home.
I mean, you need to have those places, especially in the parks, because there's so many people that have to be fed. You know, so many people that need to eat lunch, so many people that need to eat dinner. So you have to have those places, because you're not going to get 100% of people to go to things that maybe are a little more adventurous. So you need that balance.
Absolutely. But you know what? I challenge everybody who's going to go to Walt Disney World from tomorrow forward. Go to one restaurant. I don't care if it's quick service, if it's sit down. Go to one restaurant that you've never been to before and get something that looks like it would appeal to you, but you're not sure. Try it. Just try that experiment. See if you really like it or not, and see if you would go back there again, or if you'd be willing to try something different another time. So we have an open challenge to everybody. And speaking of open challenges, I challenge you, yes, that's right, you, to give us that thumbs up, hit that like button.
And Darlene too.
Oh yeah, I think the campaign to save Darlene is, it's not doing well.
Oh,
It's I think that's why she's been so quiet tonight, because she knows she's on the outs.
oh God.
No. I've just been listening to everything you guys have said, and I agree with a lot of it. I have family members and friends that like going to the same old place, because they're familiar with the food, they're familiar with, the different, places that will accommodate allergies and stuff. I honestly think I have a few restaurants in Epcot I haven't eaten yet, and Animal Kingdom, and that's it. I think we've touched base in most of them in Hollywood Studios and in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, there aren't that many restaurants in the parks I haven't eaten at over the years. There are some I haven't been to in many years. There are some and I'll be honest, there were a couple in Epcot I would never ever go back to.
Right.
Under normal circumstances. One is Nine Dragons. I just never liked the food or the pricing of the food for what the offering is. Mexico, I used to love the food in Mexico, but it's changed over the years and it's not very good in Mexican.
At the fast service?
No, not the fast service, the sit down.
Oh, the sit down, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, we discussed that already.
Offhand, I can't think of the name.
And Angeline.
That's it.
St. Angeline, yeah.
Great atmosphere. I mean, if you're looking for a romantic atmosphere you can't beat that atmosphere there. Food quality, they really do need to improve upon the food. And there are very few restaurants in Disney I can say that I wouldn't go back again. I'd more likely go back to San Angelo than I would Nine Dragons. And
I have friends that eat at Nine Dragons all the time, and they love it.
Yeah, it's everybody's
a matter of taste. That's the great thing about Disney.
Right.
It's your choice. It's your taste.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the key thing with that, though, where you're saying, hey, try something new. One of the main things we do now when we're researching, we know all about the attractions. I mean, we haven't missed a year in forever. What we don't know about is what's changed on the menu, what's come back, what's gone away. Because the menus have changed a lot since the COVID pandemic.
Absolutely.
They're starting to bring real choices back instead of real food. No, real choices though. Whereas you used to have 12 items that went down to 5. And now it's coming back up again. You're getting more choices again. And research is the key. Again, if you're looking at it and you're looking for something new, look at all the menus. There's a lot of places you can go. You can go right to the app and look at it on your app.
Yeah,
what's new.
What we always used to do was, when we did not live in Florida, would be, okay, we're going on vacation with or without our kids. Let's say with the kids, just as an example. And we try to find places that we had never been to before. And we try to find a place that had food on it that might be different from what we're accustomed to getting every day, but in the food groups that we know somebody, if not all of us in our group, enjoys. So, it could be a dessert item. It could be a meat item. It wouldn't be a vegetable item with me unless it was potatoes.
And that's where going with a smaller party helps.
Yeah,
that's where going with a smaller party helps, because trying to please 6 people with food is a lot harder than just helping 3 or 4.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my reason for wanting to do this show is there are so many people that will go to the Backlot Express every time they're in Hollywood Studios, or what's the other place?
ABC Commissary.
ABC Commissary.
That's what they know, and it's like, okay, we've tried it before, we like it. Try something different. I'm not a fan of, and bear with me, John, of sci-fi dining, but not because of the food itself and not because of the atmosphere. Great atmosphere, food is great. It's the cost of the food in comparison to what you get at Backlot Express, which is very similar. not to a large degree, but to some degree. But I would recommend that place for people who've never been there before because it's a great experience. You also have to deal with being possibly uncomfortable in the seats there, depending on how tall or otherwise you might be. It's not the most comfortable place.
And like Kurt said, the menus are always changing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, they bring new things in, they bring things back that have gone away. So if you don't go visit some of the restaurants that you tend not to go, if there's a lot of restaurants you tend not to go to, you're missing out on not just what they have there today, but what they could have there tomorrow, what they have next year.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell everybody who's watching and listening to this show, regardless of what we say, we might be giving you some good advice and picking new things. Don't listen to us when we say, well, we like this, but we don't like this, because what I like, John may hate. What John likes, I might hate. It's everybody's individual taste. You've got to try you know what you're going to like and what you're not going to like, and you know what you might be willing to try. And sometimes you just have to throw caution to the wind also, and you might actually like something.
Right. So, but you can also try, so you don't have to get maybe a whole big entree. Mm-hmm. Maybe you could get a small plate or an appetizer, a dessert, a snack. So if you don't like something, maybe not as much, you don't lose as much at it. You don't lose the entire time for a big long meal. You don't lose as much money if you don't like something. So if you're not sure about a restaurant, try something smaller and less expensive to get that sense of whether you might like something there. And maybe it becomes one of your new favorites.
Yeah, absolutely. We went to the Brown Derby once, and none of us were in the mood for a full meal. So we got appetizers and, of course, dessert. And it was great. It was, the Cobb salad was very popular that night.
But building off of that, what John was saying, if you're looking a lot of, maybe you want to try something different that's over at Epcot.
Yeah.
Year round now.
Yeah.
Is a kiosk.
Yeah.
Try something from the kiosk. A lot of times that might be a smaller portion of what they have in one of the restaurants nearby.
Yeah.
So it'll give you a taste of what's there.
Yeah.
Like the beer cheddar soup or
Canadian cheddar cheese soup.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
My wife makes it.
Yep. So I've done it too.
But that goes with the, if you're looking for a dessert, it goes with the snack stands too. You might have tried regular Dole Whips your entire life, or just the Dole Whip float. Try something different.
A different Dole Whip float.
Yeah, different flavor. They have different flavors now.
Still waiting for them to bring the fresh pineapple to put on them like they do in Hawaii.
Correct. As much as I love that pineapple Dole Whip float, that new coconut one that they've got is really, really good. I shouldn't call it new. I think they've had it there for 2 years now. It's really, really good. It's taken over my go-to.
Yeah. There you go.
Because you tried something new.
There we go.
Yeah.
So let me ask everybody here, what was the last restaurant or food you've tried in a restaurant that you had not eaten any time before on any other trip that you truly enjoyed?
I just talked about
it. Yeah. Okay.
Coconut Dole Whip.
The coconut Dole Whip.
I've not tried that one yet.
Could be anything, any food.
Any food at Disney.
I'm going to
something we never tried.
I go to different restaurants. I don't go to the same restaurants all the time. No, certainly, lunch and some of the simpler meals. I tend to return to places, but I'm always eating in a different resort restaurant or a different restaurant within the parks. I'm trying to think of what the latest one was, though. Topolino's is one I've been going for the last few years. Had never been there before, and both dinner and breakfast were fabulous. And also Primo Piatto, which is there in the Riviera as well, is their counter service, quick service, and that's got some excellent food there.
Yeah. How about you, Darlene?
Well,
I'm
I see a picture.
showing my 3 Mickey stuffed key lime curd with raspberries and bacon waffles at Vero Beach. That was absolutely delicious. That is, I think, right now my favorite.
I just went to Trattoria Al Forno on Disney's Boardwalk. Had never
Oh,
been there
nice.
before.
Oh, okay.
Tried the pizza. Now, the pizza is not via Napoli pizza, but it was very good. And for those of you who know how bad the pizza is in Florida, you know where I'm coming from. It was just like, just give me pizza. I haven't had it in a while. I need it. It was really good. Really, really good. And I would get it.
Is it brick oven there?
I don't know. I don't sense from the flavoring of the pizza that it was, but I'm not sure.
If they do it in a very, very hot oven, that could make a difference too. I don't think a lot of places down here know how to. Pizza needs to be cooked at a high heat for a short period of time.
You
lot of it's
also
the
have
water, too.
the dough also has to have the
Yeah.
right consistency from the water that you
Correct.
don't get down here in Florida, unless you
Right,
import
that's why they ship it down from Pennsylvania. Yep.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's said via Napoli. They do.
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Well, you mentioned Trattoria Al Forno.
Mhm.
We, on a recent trip, went to breakfast there for the first time. We had never eaten there before. Their breakfast was excellent, and
I've
I
heard
heard
that.
Lottie say the same thing.
Yeah.
And we were surprised. I would have never thought about, an Italian restaurant having a good hearty breakfast, and it was,
Yeah.
we were very pleasantly surprised.
And you know what? I went to a buffet at Disney World that I'd never been to before, Cape May Cafe.
Mm.
And that is by far, right now, my favorite all-time buffet. Bar none.
Yeah.
It's not
Been
the
a
biggest
while,
in the world,
we
but it's
really,
like,
really
where can you get
Yeah.
all that variety of seafood and meat? And it was incredibly great. And I can't wait to go back there again. That's how good it was.
Was it busy
It was
or hard to get into?
No, it wasn't hard to get into, but most tables were taken. Not all, but most tables were taken. But the
Where is Cape
Well-
May? Is that in Yacht Club?
Beach Club.
Yeah,
Beach Club?
Yep.
Yeah, it's close to Yacht Club, that side of Beach Club.
Right.
Yep.
It's right in the middle. Okay.
Yeah.
Ish.
Well, I think people forget about it. And that's Disney has such a wealth of restaurants, as we said, across the resorts, across the parks, Disney Springs. There's so many opportunities. So yeah, some of those people forget sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there are people, they figure they're going to the parks for the day, they're going to stay in the parks. Some people don't think about making reservations. They'll wing it and hope they can get in somewhere, or it's out of their budget, or they think it's out of their budget, and they'd rather go for the quick service than the sit down. But depending on what you get at quick service and what you might order at a sit down restaurant, it may not cost you that much more. We've had quick service where, it's almost as much money as it is going to a sit down.
Yeah.
If you eliminate the appetizer and dessert and just get an entree, you could do very well for yourself.
You do have to be aware that some of the restaurants are fixed price.
Yes.
And some of the
Mhm.
and a lot of the fixed price restaurants, the price for lunch is the same as the price for dinner.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't save anymore.
No. There are some fixed price restaurants I would not recommend because of the cost for lunch. Let's say, I think was it? Oh God, what's the name of that? Is it Beauty and the Beast?
Be our guest.
Be our guest.
Yeah, Be Our Guest. That's it. I'm sorry. I just don't think the lunch price is worth what you're getting at dinner. All right, it's another story. You're going to spend more for dinner, but I think it's the same food too. Isn't it the same menu?
I think it is.
I think it is
I
now.
think so. Yeah.
They used to have some kind of almost like quick service options for lunch,
Yes, they did.
but they don't have that anymore.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
No.
I think they need to
We
go
ate there
back.
the last year they did that.
Yeah.
I really wish they would go back to that
Right, I
because
did
I
too.
can't eat a huge meal like that, you know?
Either go back to that, or if you're going to do a fixed price for lunch, do a different menu for lunch and let the price reflect that it's lunch and not dinner.
Different menu,
Yeah.
decrease the plate size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the food options. Yeah.
Yeah, but something to be aware of.
Yep. Kurt, you were talking before about how the menus kind of shrunk because of the pandemic and how they're starting to come back. Well, that's the same thing pretty much anywhere you go. It wasn't just Disney. It was any restaurant, any cruise. They all followed that pattern of reducing menus, and you are starting to see things come back in some places. Now, I'm wondering, for Cheesecake Factory fans, their menu is like a phone book. I'm wondering if that's
I know, right?
Yeah, that I think is overkill.
That is like the hugest menu I think I've ever seen anywhere.
Yeah, you sit down in Cheesecake Factory and you're going through the menu. The waiter comes over. Have you decided yet? No. Can you give me another hour, please?
Right?
Yeah.
Menu by Tolstoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time we went there, my wife yelled at me for not looking at the menu online before we went. Because it is that full.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You're making me hungry. We don't have one around here.
Oh, really? Yeah, ours is pretty far too. It's all the way in Orlando.
All the way?
All the way to Orlando.
Translation, it's like 20 minutes away.
On a good day.
Yeah. But you know what? It's in a tourist area, as most chain restaurants are. So if you're a resident down here, you try to avoid the tourist areas as much as you can.
I'd love to see them put one closer.
61 miles away is my closest.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any restaurants at Walt Disney World that you had no intention of trying, but someone talked you into it, or for some reason you said, let me just see what it's like, and you were pleasantly surprised?
I already gave mine, Trattoria al Forno. I had never even thought about going there until we heard from somebody that they had a good breakfast, and so we did. We tried it, and we were pleasantly surprised.
Well, I can give you one. I think Darlene knows the one I'm going to give. Tony's Town Square.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it's really, really good, but I had eaten there before. I did not like the food, and I gave it another try some years later, and I was pleasantly surprised. Now, would I veer off of what I got and try something else? Depends on what it is. But I was pleasantly surprised.
At least you're open to another opportunity now.
Yeah. Another restaurant I can give you, Mama Melrose. We had eaten there some years ago. The food was good. It was good. Not great, but good. We went back again, and it was great. So we decided to go back again, and it was great again. So we might have the first time might have just been an off night. We don't know.
Yeah, I haven't eaten there yet, but my daughter said it's delicious.
Yeah, it is.
We've enjoyed Mama Melrose most of the times that we've gone there. Usually, if we're not enjoying it, it's someone in our party that they can't find anything on the menu that they really want. So
I've got to go there sometime. I've thought about it off and on. I've never eaten at Mama Melrose.
Wow. Yeah. I would say it's very much worth it. But like I said, everyone's taste is different. There's another podcaster that does a certain show that recommends a certain restaurant in Disney Springs all the time. And it's a restaurant that I do like, but I've had people from my own family and other people that I know very well have told me that it's just But I think it's the choice of what they pick to eat rather than the restaurant itself. I have personally never had a bad meal there. Never.
I would not want to go to said restaurant most likely because I would have very limited choices at that restaurant.
Yeah, you would. You would. It's a lot
I think I have two options, and one of them is way out of my price range.
Yeah.
So
Well, I can tell you somebody had mentioned at one point that they got, I think it's the filet mignon sliders or steak sliders, and it was like being on a giant cruise ship and having a life preserver in the middle of it with nothing else around it. So they were disappointed in that. I'm not going to give the name of the restaurant. I don't want to sway people one way or the other. But I know you guys know which restaurant I'm talking about.
oh yeah.
John looks perplexed.
Well, why don't you tell everyone?
I'll tell you off.
Oh, you're not okay. You're not going to share that. Okay,
I don't want to do
that's all right.
that. Yeah. Are there any restaurants you guys have been to that was so god awful at Disney World that you just like you're done with it?
Pizza Fari.
Yeah, I can't.
Not a fan.
No, I haven't really come across any that I didn't really, really like. Well, the only time I did was when I went back to Vero Beach after.
Well, that's not Disney World.
Yeah, I mean,
That's not Disney World.
Right.
yeah.
Now, I
that's
will
the
say
only
Docking
one.
Bay was it Docking Bay 7.
Yeah.
Last time we went there, we had a horrible experience, and it really turned us off to it.
Wow.
The food wasn't as good as it was the first time.
Mm.
Could have just been
Never really liked food
timing,
there.
but the chicken was dry. Family was very disappointed in it after we talked it up and talked how good it was.
That could have been the way the food was prepared.
I'm thinking it was an anomaly just because we've been there a few times, and it's been fairly consistent, and we enjoyed it. So, but I mean that's the tough thing, though. It's tough to go back someplace if you didn't have a good experience.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just don't find enough food there to eat that
Oh yeah.
it's not a big variety. So like once you have a wrap, I'm done,
Yeah, I've been to Hollywood and Vine quite a few times,
Mhm.
and every time I go there, I'm expecting something different, and not on the menu. I'm just expecting them to do something a little bit better than they had before, and it always turns out to be the same. They're consistent. I'll give them that. It's good food. It's not great food. So if you're looking for a buffet, that would not be my first or last choice, but it wouldn't. It's simple buffet food. It's like, how can I put this? It's like a step or two above Old Country Buffet.
Mhm.
So it's for the masses, but not for, if you like buffets, it shouldn't be your first choice. But I'm not telling people not to go there, because if you're in Hollywood Studios and you want a lot of food and you want to eat fast or slow, whatever pace you want to go on, it's not a bad choice. But I would prefer the sit-down restaurants and quick service restaurants there over Hollywood and Vine.
So I just tossed this out to my son and said, what restaurant would you not want to return to? And he brought up one that it's been a while since we've gone back, and that's Pinocchio's Village House.
Really?
It's mostly just flatbread or Caesar salad. That's it. So
Yeah, they did change the menu there over the years.
yeah.
Is it still the same now?
That's it. I just looked it up. That's what I'm looking at
did?
right now.
Interesting.
You've got all sorts of different flatbreads, 3 or a couple different Caesar salads, or chicken strips.
See, I love Caesar salad. I love flatbreads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you're the one that just got done talking about, hey, you try something new.
Mhm.
These are things you can get anywhere here. There's nothing, and it's not going to be the best.
Well,
You know what I mean? It's
you know
not going to be the
restaurant-
best one you're going to get.
Speaking of Magic King, you know what restaurant's really gone downhill since COVID?
Buffalo or Pecos Bills.
Yep, you got it. That's the one I was thinking about. That's really gone downhill.
Yeah. There's
I
no
get the
fixing
fact that they
bowl.
don't have the salad bar anymore. I mean, I get that. But the quality of the burgers is not the same.
But I said to my family, though, because the last 3 times that we've gone, oh, let's go here. It's got the variety. Let's get the food. I think the last 3 times I've tried 3 different things, and every time I was disappointed.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it's happened to me the last couple of times I was there. I wouldn't go back for. It's going to be a long time before I go back there. Yeah, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, even we, with being open to the different options and opportunities, we still have our own preferences and we
Mhm.
still have our own boundaries.
Absolutely. If you're in Magic Kingdom, you can't. I love Crystal Palace for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It doesn't matter. Just love it. Columbia Harbor House is a great place if you're looking for quick service.
I just want my lobster roll back and
I
mac and
can't.
cheese.
Yeah.
They used to have fish and chips on the menu. I want them to bring that back too.
Yeah. Chicken pot pie.
Yeah.
It's gone. Yeah. There's literally the only thing I can eat in that restaurant is chicken strips or the mixed green salad. That's it. I wanted the chicken pot pie. So bad I wanted that chicken pot pie. It's not available.
I think it wasn't Pennsylvania pot pie, but that's a different discussion. We had that discussion before. In Pennsylvania, pot pie doesn't have crust.
I would tell people who are going to Walt Disney World, if you're going to Animal Kingdom, it's Satouli's Canteen. That's different. And
I love
it. Amazing.
But it's different without feeling strange.
Correct.
So you can get a cheeseburger pod.
Yep.
That it's different from a cheeseburger. But if you like cheeseburgers, you'll probably like the cheeseburger pod.
Right. And you can get different meat on salad, rice, or noodles. I would venture to, if you feel adventurous, go to Tusker House.
Oh my. I couldn't agree more. Tusker House. And you have this expectation possibly that the spices are going to be really strong. But my experience is there's a little bit of spice for flavor, but it's not overwhelming by any means. I think it feels normal to me. It feels comfortable to me. Same thing I used to feel when I went to Akershus before it came the Princess buffet. We made it more expensive, but
now it's a meet and greet.
Yeah, it's a meet and greet. So, but they have food that was familiar to me. Not that I would eat it all the time for dinner, but it all felt comfortable.
Well, when I went there, I tried venison for the first time. Loved it. And I've always wanted to go back ever since, and it's not there anymore, or at least not for the time being. Hopefully it'll come back.
I mean, they have meatballs. Most people like meatballs.
Yep.
It may not have been made quite the same as you had done it, but.
Yep. Yeah. All right. And any parting advice for people who might just be afraid of trying something different?
Don't be afraid to try food. If you don't like something, you can always tell your server and they can always get you something different or offer you, something that you might like.
Right. Or what you can do also, just say, look, I'm willing to try this. If I don't like it, would there be a problem sending it back and getting something else? They might bring you a sample taste of it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
If you're worried about allergies, every table service restaurant I've ever been to at Disney, when the server walks up and asks, does anyone have any food allergies? And I say, seafood and this and this and this, they literally will bring out the chef to me. When I'm telling him what I want to eat, he will let me know if there's anything in there that I have to worry about if they got to change something up. So they will take care of you at any of the table service restaurants there.
Yep.
And that's my biggest thing I got to worry about, because my wife had something that was hummus once. I'm like, oh, let me take a bite without knowing what's in hummus. And I think they were like deep fried hummus sticks or something. They were from Morocco. It was really, really good. Luckily, I only took one bite because I immediately started getting a migraine from it. So I know what it is that you're eating before you eat it.
Yeah. Yep.
I just
You can always ask for a menu explanation of what's in the food.
And that's true too. They will do that for you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I
and
just knew there was no seafood in it, so I thought it'd be okay.
ask your family or friends who visit Disney World, what are some of the things what are some of the places that they've eaten that you haven't eaten? And they, if you trust them, you can get a more comfortable feel for trying things. And like we said, try some of the smaller things, the snacks, the appetizers, desserts, maybe go for breakfast or a smaller lunch.
Mhm.
Get introduced to it, give it a try, and go out and see more of Walt Disney World.
Yeah, and I'm going to recommend something to everybody out there. If you've never been on a Disney cruise, go on a Disney cruise, and you know what? You can get 10 appetizers. You can get 10 entrees, 20 desserts. You can order everything on the menu. They won't care. They'll just bring it to you. They're small portions. But that way you could try different things. And if you see something similar when you go to Walt Disney World after that, you won't be as afraid to try something different.
Exactly.
And it doesn't have to be small. They'll bring multiple multiple entrees to you, multiple desserts to you.
And I know somebody who does that
done
all
that.
the time.
Yeah, my older
This
son
guy.
was on the adult menu, and when my younger son, when the guy offered him an extra corn dog, my older son's like, oh, and he goes, oh, you want one? I'll bring you one too. You want one or two? The Rick's like, 2 more, please. Boom. Fill up the plate with food.
Yeah, look, you know what? I think both my kids, my son definitely likes corn dogs. I can't stand corn dogs.
Oh, I love corn
I'm
dogs.
with your
Hate
son. I'll
corn
eat them
dog.
up.
Tried one
Sleepy
once.
Hollow has a good corn dog.
Yeah, I tried one once. I'll never go near another one.
You like cornbread?
I like cornbread and I like hot dogs. I just don't like them
The two of them together.
Yeah,
I think they're.
it's like some people like
fantastic.
chocolate coated pretzels. I can't stand the sweet and the.
Really? Wow.
I don't like
I
it.
love chocolate
I
covered
love
pretzels.
chocolate. I love almonds. I can't eat the two together.
Oh
I
my
can eat
God.
peanut butter and chocolate
I
together.
can eat the almonds.
So, and everybody out there's got different
Yeah.
likes and dislikes, and that's our point of this whole show.
Mhm.
Try something that's different, but with things that you feel are relative. When I say safe, I don't mean safe. I mean relatively safe. Like you'll take a chance on the flavoring, on how it's prepared. Like John said, if you've got friends that you go out to dinner with all the time, they've been to Disney World and they're saying, yeah, this is great. They know your taste, so they know what you like in all that.
Talk to somebody you trust.
Yeah. If somebody's from Buffalo and they tell you the pizza's good at this place, don't trust them.
We have some good pizza in Buffalo.
I really miss the pizza from New Jersey and New York, especially New York City. I really do. Because down here, when I say down here, I mean in Florida, you do not get anything that comes close. We found one place that's halfway decent, and it's just not the same. Via Napoli, which is very different from any pizza you'll get in New York, is excellent. It's great. But you can't compare the two. It's very different. Same thing with Kurt. I'm sure you like Chicago-style pizza. Good luck finding it down here.
They used to have the Pizzeria Uno down there.
Yep.
I don't think it's there anymore.
I think they closed.
They closed like
Even
5
the
or
one
6
on
years
192, I think.
The
is
one
closed.
on 192 I believe is closed. I think there's one.
There was one right across the street near the grocery store from Disney Springs at the end of, what is that, Hotel Row, whatever they call that down there. There used to be one there. I don't think it's there anymore.
There is a Pizzeria Uno in Winter Park, Florida. So
So that's about as close as you're going to get to deep dish pizza, Chicago style pizza.
Yep.
Hey, I like a good thin crust too, and as long as I can go to Via Napoli,
Yeah, there you
happy
go.
customer.
Yep.
I'm sorry, they're not customer. Happy guest. You
Yeah.
never want to be a customer at Disney.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that's true.
you don't want to be. You see people going like this. That's not a good thing. You never want to be a customer at Disney.
All right.
So.
I think that's going to do it for us this week. Anybody else want to add anything before we scoot out of here? All right. Well, I appreciate everybody stopping by to watch or listen to us this week. We hope you have a great rest of the week, a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Enjoy the magic wherever you are. We'll see you next time right here, same place, same time. And until then, be safe, be yourself. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
All this talking about all these food options makes me realize I'm so rumbly in my tumbly. Time for something sweet. It would be sweet if you come back and see us again next week, and we hope that you don't say, "Oh, bother." Good night.
Have a magical night. Stay safe and pack your sunscreen and your ponchos. And right now, a warm coat.